Hello children, I'm happy to welcome you to this video session of Standard 10, Term 2, Unit 11, Carbon and Net Compounds. Carbon plays a vital role in humans' life. While we are eating, intake medicines, the fuels like petrol, oil, kerosene, something like that, the carbon elements takes place. Carbon is an inseparable element. So, view this video and know importance about the carbon children. So, let's move on to this video session.
Hi children, now we are going to discuss carbon and its compounds. So, the unique nature of carbon. It's a catenation, tetravalency, multiple bonding, enables to combine with itself or other elements like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur. So, it forms a large number of compounds. All these compounds are made up of covalent bond. So, these compounds are called as organic compounds. In this lesson, we are going to discuss about the carbon compounds. General characteristics of organic compounds. So, everything in the world we have any unique characteristics. Likewise, so the organic compounds will have some unique characteristics. Let some of them we are going to discuss now. Organic compounds have a high molecular weight and complex structure, which is insoluble in water and soluble in organic solvents. The organic solvents are such as ether, carbon tetrachloride and toluene, which is inflammable in nature. Organic compounds are less compared to inorganic compounds. So, two types of compounds you will have. One is organic compound and inorganic compound. Mostly organic compounds which forms a covalent bond in it, okay, which have the low melting point as well as boiling point when compared to the inorganic compounds. This is a phenomenon of isomerism, that is the organic compound exhibits the isomerism. What is meant by isomerism, we will discuss that about later. They are volatile in nature and organic compounds is also prepared in this laboratory. Classification of the organic compound, that is based in the pattern of a carbon. So earlier days and all the many compounds are discovered, isn't it? So it have a structural formulas to it, and many will have the structural compound which have the same arrangement or identical characteristic or a same characteristic which have the same chemical properties too. So the unique molecular structure should be designed for every compound. That can be listed using a systematic method of classification. So, carbon atom present in the carbonic compound are linked with each other through the covalent compounds. So, which have two types. One is cyclic or closed chain. Another one is acyclic or open chain. Now we are going to discuss about the acyclic or open chain. Acyclic, these compounds with the carbon chain which will linked with a linear pattern. Linear pattern means one after another. So if all the carbon atoms in the chain is connected with the single bonds only, so this is a saturated compound. If one or more double bonds or triple bond is exist in this carbon atom, that compound said to be a unsaturated compound. So single bond means saturated, if double or triple bond means unsaturated. Next is cyclic compound. The cyclic compound is a closed chain. So okay, you can able to see the picture itself. You can have this compounds which have this closed chain. Organic compounds in which the chain of carbon atom is closed or a cyclic, which is called as a cyclic compound. If the chain consists only two carbon atom, that is only one carbon atom, that is called as a homocyclic. If the chain of carbon atom other like oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, which is called as a heterocyclic compounds. The carbon cyclic which contains into a subdivided into alicyclic and aromatic compounds. Alicyclic compounds which contains two or more carbocyclic rings, which may be a saturated or unsaturated. There are aromatic compounds contain one or more benzene rings. Some of the examples I gave you here: alicyclic compound, aromatic compound, and heterocyclic compounds. So, classes of organic compounds, it's a kind of and based of the atoms. So, organic compounds be classified the kind of atoms. Other than the carbon, organic compounds contains like a hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen to bonded the carbon. So, combination of these kinds of atom with the carbon which gives different classes of organic compounds. So, first is hydrocarbon, that is the organic compound that are composed of only one carbon and the hydrogen atom, that is called as a hydrocarbons. So, carbon atoms join together to form the framework of the compounds. These are regarded as a parent organic compounds, and all other compounds are considered to be derived from hydrocarbons by replacing one or more hydrogen atom with the other atom or a group of atoms. In this, the first category is alkane, ANE. Okay, these are the hydrocarbons which contains only single bond. So ANE, A is a first alphabetic letter, isn't it? So ANE means single bond. It is represent the general formula as CnH2n plus 2, where here n is 1, 2, 3. The simplest alkane, that is n is equal to 1, means you will get methane, CH4. The next class is alkene, ENE. You can guess, children? Yes, double bond. So it contains one or more C double bond C. So it is unsaturated compound. Why it is unsaturated compound? Yes, it is a double bond, so it is a unsaturated compound. I already told you single bond is a saturated compound, double bond is a unsaturated compound. Its general formula is CnH2n. The simplest alkene contains two carbon atom, that is n is equal to 2, means you will get ethylene, CH2 double bond CH2. Here comes a table of hydrocarbon containing 1 to 5 carbon atom. In the first table you have the alkene, and the second table you have alkene, and the third table you have alkyne. The first one you will have the number of carbon atom is 1, you will get methane, and 2 ethane, 3 propane, 4 butane, 5 pentane. Alkene, that is ethene, that is 2, and 3 is propene, 4 is butane, 5 is pentene. Alkyne, the carbon atom is 2, means ethyne, 3 means propyne, 4 means butane, and 5 means pentane. Characteristics of hydrocarbon. You will have 8 points in it, characteristics of hydrocarbon. So the lower hydrocarbon are in gaseous and room temperature. The lower hydrocarbon means that is C will be 1 or 2, that is ethane, methane are the gases, and it is colorless and also it is odorless gas. The boiling point of hydrocarbon is increases. When number of carbon atom is increases, the boiling point is increases. Okay. Then which is undergoes a combustion reaction with oxygen to form carbon dioxide and water. Alkene is a less reactive when compared to the other hydrocarbons. So A is a less reactive when compared to, that is alkane, alkene, alkyne. So A is very less reactive. Obviously YNE, that is alkyne, is more reactive. Due to this present a double bond. Alkyne are saturated, whereas alkene and alkyne is unsaturated. They are insoluble in water. These are the characteristics of hydrocarbons. Next is to identify the saturated and unsaturated compound. So we are going to test whether it is a saturated or unsaturated. Saturated means alkane, unsaturated means alkene. So first you should take a given sample solution in the test tube. Add a few drops of bromine water and observe any characteristic changes there. Okay, if the given compound is saturated, it will should be a decolorized bromine water. The given compound is unsaturated, it will decolorize the bromine water. It is a saturated, no decolorization takes place. The first one is does not react with bromine water, does not decolorize with the bromine water. Will react with bromine water and such also decolorize the bromine water. So this is the test to identify the saturated and unsaturated compound. Functional groups. So classification of the organic compound is based on functional groups. The presence of some other atom or a group of atoms makes a compound more reactive. That determines the chemical property of a compound, that is called as a functional group. If the functional group of an atom or a group of atom in a molecule which gives the characteristics of the chemical properties. The chemical properties of the organic compounds depends upon the functional group too, whereas a physical property will remain same part in the structure. If the carbon which has a multiple compound like carbon double bond carbon and carbon triple bond carbon, consider the functional groups, many properties influenced by these compounds. The functional groups in this chapter we are going to discuss about the four functional group is OH, CHO, COOH and C double bond O. So in this hydrocarbon which have the molecular formula of C2H6, if one of its hydrogen is replaced as a OH group, okay, the series of the compound which containing the same functional group is called as a class of organic compound. This is the classification of the organic compound based on the functional group. Here comes a table. The classes of organic compound is based on the functional group. The classes of compounds is here. One is alcohol, the second one is aldehyde, third one is ketone and fourth one is carboxylic acid. These four is very important, children. And fifth one is ester and sixth one is ether. The functional group, so alcohol OH, aldehyde CHO, ketone is C double bond O, carboxylic acid is COOH and ester is COOR and ether is OR. So you will have the examples. So only one examples I given: ethanol, acetaldehyde, ketone. Here itself you can able to see that OH means all ethanol, the alcohol family will be there, and aldehyde CHO, acetaldehyde, the name itself you can able to identify, and ketone C double bond O, it is acetone, and next carboxylic acid is acetic acid, and ester, that is methyl acetate. Next one is dimethyl ether. Homologous series. This is a series is a group or a class of organic compound which have the general formula, that is which will be defined with a successive number. Okay, first we have a methane, ethane, propane, butane and pentane. Did you notice that what is the difference here? CH4. Next one is C2H6 and next one is C3H8, like that. It will be considered as a structural formulas here, and which a successive number will differs in a CH2. Characteristics of a homologous series. Each members in the series will differ, that is predicting or succeeding members by one methylene group and hence by the molecular formula of 14 AMU. All members of this homologous series which contains all the same elements and the function group, which is represented by the general molecular formula like alkane. The members in each homologous series which are regular graduation in their physical properties with respect to increase in a molecular mass. Chemical properties of the member of a homologous series are similar. All the members will be prepared by a common method. So these are the characteristics of a homologous series. Next, Nomenclature of organic compound. For example, in formic acid, you will have initially will have a red ant. That is that the name of red ant is a formicida. The name of the formic acid is derived from the Latin name of the source, and later this organic compound is synthesized from the source rather than the natural source. So, scientists framed a systematic method for the naming of this organic compound. The set of rules is formulated, that is IUPAC, that is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. The components of IUPAC name, you have the three parts in it. One is root word, prefix and suffix. The parts will combined with the sequence of IUPAC name as a root word. That is, in the basic, first you will have a carbon skeleton, that is you will have any compound, okay. How many number of carbon atom present in the parent chain, that you have to consider the patterns of the arrangement. Based on the number of the carbon atom present in this carbon skeleton, which is derived. So you will have a number of carbon atoms, you will have root word. 1 means meth, 2 means eth, 3 means prop, 4 means but, like that till 10 you will have. Next one is prefix, that is at the front word. That should be a branch present in this parent chain. It may be a substituted compound, okay. That is fluorine, chlorine, bromine and all will be there. F means fluoro, Cl means chloro, I means iodo, Br means bromo, okay. Then suffix. So which end the name? You will have a primary and secondary suffix. In primary, suffix will come after the root word. It represents the nature of the carbon to carbon bond. If all the compounds, that is all the bond between the carbon atom present in the chain are single, then it should be ANE should be used. It's a B. Double means ENE and YNE. Double means ENE and triple means YNE. Okay, you will have a class of compounds with the functional groups too. Here the root word 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 5 is there. So name of the carbon atom is methane, ethane, propane, that is METH, meth, the root word, okay. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 means hex, hept, oct, non, dec. This is the substituents, that is the atom or a group of atom other than hydrogen attached to the carbon of a parent chain, that is called as a substituents. Here you will have fluoro, chloro, bromo, iodo, amino, methyl, ethyl and ethois. Then next you will have a suffix of IUPAC name. Alcohol means you will get OL, aldehyde means you will get AL. This also we also discussed in the previous slides. Ketone means ONE and carboxylic acids means oic acid. IUPAC rules for naming the organic compounds. Rule 1. First identify the longest carbon atom, that's a parent name first. The second rule, the number of carbon atoms, the beginning at the closest end of substituent or any functional groups. The third rule is, in the case of alkene or alkyne, whether it is a double bond or a triple bond, okay, the carbon chain numbered in such a way of multiple carbon have the lowest possible located number. The rule 4, if a compound contains a functional group which will be located in the locant number, no, that should be dashed and it will be measured as a referred to be a secondary suffix. When the primary or the secondary suffix are joined, the terminal E of a primary suffix should be removed. Identify the substituents first and use a number of dash and the prefix specify its location and identify. So these are the 6 rules should be followed of a naming an organic compound. So here you have 2 examples I gave you here. Listen properly children. The first example you will have CH3, CH2, 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 CH3. See whether it is a parent chain, that is a linear chain. Okay, it doesn't have any branch. So this linear is very easy to identify the names. So 5 carbon atoms means the root name. Refer the root name, it is a pent. All the bonds between the carbon is a single bond. So suffix should be ane. So pent plus ane which gives pentane. This is the IUPAC name of this compound. The second example, you will have CH3, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. It is not a linear chain, okay, which have the long chain which contains a 5 carbon atoms. So hence the root word is pent. There is a substituents, isn't it? So the carbon chain is numbered from the left hand side. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the rule number 2. All are in the single bond. So suffix should be ane. The next substituents is a methyl group. So it is located in the second carbon atom. So the locant number is 2, which will be take from the rule number 6. So the prefix is 2-methyl. The compound name is 2-methyl pent plus ane. So you will have 2-methyl pentane. Another example is CH3COOH. The parent chain consists of 2 carbon atoms, that is a root word is eth. All single bonds between the carbon atom of the chain, so the primary suffix is ane. Since the compound contains COOH, that is a carboxylic acid, so secondary suffix should come oic acid, that is OIC acid. The name of the compound is eth plus ane plus OIC. That A should be removed, okay. So that's why you will get a ethanoic acid. Look at its table, children. IUPAC name of various classes of compound. First you will have alcohols, aldehydes, ketones, carboxylic acid. The first one is methanol, ethanol, propanol, butanol and pentanol. So 1 will be, that is carbon atom is 1, you will get meth. 2 means eth, 3 means prop and 4 means but and 5 means pent. The same way in the aldehyde, methanol, ethanol, propanol, butanol and pentanol. Ketones, propanone, butanone, pentanone. Carboxylic acid, methanoic acid, ethanoic acid, propionic acid, butanic acid, pentoinic acid. Manufacture of ethanol. Ethanol, it's a common known alcohol in all beverages and some cough syrups also. Ethanol is contained. The molecular formula of ethanol is C2H5OH. The structural formula is given in this left hand side. Manufacture of ethanol. Ethanol is manufactured in industries. First, ethanol is consisted with the help of sugar from sugarcane meat. So byproduct is obtained, that is molasses. It's a dark colored syrup left after the crystallization of sugar. So that concentrated sugarcane juice which contain 30% of sugar and which cannot be separated by crystallization. So that process will taken into the ethanol. We will have a many process. The first process is dilution of molasses. After this molasses, first process is dilution, that is first you should dilute with the water to bring the concentration of the sugar up to 8 to 10%. Then nitrogen source, addition of nitrogen source. So molasses contains enough nitrogenous matter to act food for yeast during fermentation. So this, if the nitrogen content of molasses is poor, it may fortified by this addition. So we are adding ammonium sulfate or ammonium phosphate. Next is the addition of yeast. The second step is collected in the large fermentation tank. Okay, then yeast is added to it. This is kept for 303 Kelvin for few days. After the period, the enzyme invertates to an enzyme present in the yeast. This technique of liquid is called as a fermentation liquid, is technically called as a wash. Next is a distillation wash, that is it's contain 15 to 18% of alcohol. Now it is subjected to the fractional distillation. The main fraction drawn in the aqueous solution of ethanol, which contains the 95.5% of ethanol and 4.5% of water. This is called as a rectified spirit. The mixture is refluxed over quick flame for about 5 to 6 hours, then allowed to stand for 12 hours. After the distillation, we will get a pure alcohol or absolute alcohol. It is 100% of alcohol. We will have physical properties. So ethanol is a colorless liquid. So it has a pleasant smell and burning taste. So it has a boiling point of 351 Kelvin or 78 degrees Celsius, which is much higher than that of corresponding alkane, that is ethane. It is completely miscible in water in all proportions. Chemical properties. We will have 6 chemical properties. First is a dehydration. While ethanol is dehydrated, you will get ethene. And reaction of sodium, we will get a sodium ethanoxide. While oxidation, it's very important. While oxidation of ethanol, you will get a acid with the help of orange color K2Cr2O7. Then esterification. This is very important, children. The reaction is very important. This esterification, when ethanol and ethanoic acid is combined with a H2SO4, that is concentrated sulfuric acid, you will get ethyl ethanoate. When ethanol is dehydrogenation, it passes a heat of copper used with a catalyst of 573 Kelvin, you will get acetaldehyde. Then combustion. Ethanol is highly inflammable liquid. It burns with oxygen to form carbon dioxide as well as water. So ethanol will combine with oxygen, which gives a carbon dioxide and water. Uses of ethanol. Ethanol is used in many industries. It is used in medical wipes and antiseptics, which is used for automatic radiators, which is used for antiseptic to sterilize wounds in the hospitals, and which is effectively killing the microorganism like bacteria and fungi, which is included in hand sanitizers also. So as a solvent for the drug, oil, fat, perfumes, dyes also it used. And this rectified spirit, I already told you, 95.5% of ethanol and 4.5% of water is a rectified spirit. So methylite spirit means 95% of ethanol and 5% of methanol. Ethanol is 95 and methanol is 5. It is mixed with the pyridine. The flavor of the food extract for vanilla. The common food flavors which makes vanilla beans of a solution of ethanol as well as water. These are the uses of ethanol. The next one is ethanoic acid. The ethanoic acid is otherwise called as acetic acid. It's one of the most important carboxylic family which have the molecular formula of C2H4O2. Here we will have a structural representation of this acetic acid. In this we are going to see about the manufacture of ethanoic acid. We already learned, isn't it, how you will get ethanoic acid? When ethanol is oxidized, the ethanoic acid you will get. So ethanol in the presence of alkaline potassium permanganate, that is KMNO4, or acidified potassium dichromate, or any in these two, any one if you add, you will get ethanoic acid, that is CH3COOH. Ethanoic acid is otherwise called as acetic acid. So it is also a colorless liquid which have unpleasant odor. It is sour in taste. So acids will have sour in taste. It is miscible with water in all proportions. Boiling point is higher than corresponding alcohol, aldehyde and ketones. On cooling, this ethanoic acid is frozen from ice like flakes. It looks like a glacier, so it is called as a glacial acetic acid. The chemical properties you will have reacts with metal. So this zinc and sodium, it reacts with metal. You will get a liberation of hydrogen. And next one is reaction with carbonates and bicarbonates. Okay, when ethanoic acids reacts with carbonate, sodium carbonates and sodium bicarbonate, which is weaker base, liberates carbon dioxide, which gets a brisk effervescence. And reaction with the base, it's a sodium hydroxide to form a sodium ethanoate and water. Decarbolization is a ethanoic acid is heated in this soda lime, which gives a 3 parts of NaOH and 1 parts of CaO. Uses of the ethanoic acid, so acetic acid in vinegar, and it is used in a flavoring agents, and is used in a manufacture of plastic, dye, pigments, paints, and printing on fabrics, as well as in the laboratory reagents also, which is used in the protection of pharmaceuticals and collating a rubber from latex. So these are the importance of the ethanoic acid or acetic acid. Organic compounds in daily life. I already told you inorganic compounds are be inseparable in human life. So the organic compounds are used in various purposes in day-to-day life. Hydrocarbons, which is used in LPG, petrol and kerosene. Raw materials of various importance of synthetic materials like polymeric materials like tire, plastic containers. Alcohol, it acts as a solvent and antiseptic agents. Raw material for the various importance of synthetic materials. Aldehyde, formaldehyde is a disinfectant and raw material for the synthetic materials. Ketones, which is used as a solvent and stain remover. Ether, anesthetic agents and painkiller. Ester, all cooking oils and lipids contains ester. Soap and detergents. Soap and detergents are the material that used for cleaning purposes, isn't it? Pure water alone cannot remove all types of dirt or oily substance from our body or clothes. They contain sulfonates, which compounds with a molecule line up around the water to break the surface tension. Both of them having a different chemical nature. Soap is a cleaning agent that composed one or more salts of fatty acid. Detergent is a chemical compound or a mixture of chemical compounds which is used in a cleaning agent. So, they perform their cleaning action in certain specific conditions. Soap. Soap is a sodium or potassium salt of some long chain of carboxylic acids, which is called as a fatty acid. Soaps requires two major raw material, one is fat and second one is alkali. The alkali is most used in preparation of the soap, that is the sodium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide can also be used. So potassium based soap creates more water soluble product than sodium based soap. So based on this feature, we will have a soap in a sodium based soap also and potassium based soap, which have two types. One is hard soap, another one is a soft soap. The hard soap is a sophistication of oil or fats with the caustic soda, that is called as a hard soap, and the soft soap is prepared by the sophistication of the oils or fats with the potassium salt. It is called as a soft soap. We are going to see the manufacture of the soap. So first is a kettle process. It's old method, still it's widely used in a small scale preparation of soap. So in this process we will have two process. One is saponification of oil, salting out of soap. The oil is used in this process is taken from the iron tank, that is kettle. Alkaline solution is a 10% is added to this kettle. A little is in excess. The mixture is boiled by passing stream through it. The oil gets dry hydrolyzed after the several hours of boiling, and this process is called as a saponification. Salting out of soap. Common salt is then added to this boiling mixture. Soap is finally precipitated in the tank. After several hours of soap rinsed at the top of the liquid, that is called as a curdy mass. The neat soap is taken out from the bottom, then it is allowed to cool. Effect of hard water on soap. It contains a calcium and magnesium oil that limits a cleaning action of soap. When combined with soap, hard water develops with a thin layer. It's called scum, that is precipitate of metal ions, which leaves a deposit on cloths or skin and does not easily rinse away. Over time, that can lead the fabric eventually ruin the cloths. So detergents are made with a chemical, but they are not affected by the hard water. So ordinary soap is not suitable for the hard waters because ordinary soap is treated with hot water. The precipitate of the salt, that is calcium and magnesium, they appear at the surface of the cloth as sticky grey cum. That's why these soaps are not conveniently used in hot waters. The next one is detergents. We are going to see about the preparation of the detergents too. It's a big achievement in the field of cleansing. The soap possesses a desirable property of ordinary soap, which can used in the hard water and in acidic solution. The salts of sulfonic acid, alkaline hydrogen sulfate is comparisons to the soap. So first, the preparation of the soap, it's a detergent is, already we seen the preparation of soap. Now we are going to see the preparation of the detergents. We will have the several ingredients are listed here. One is sodium silicate, which prevents the corrosion of ensure the detergent which do not damage the washing the cloths or washing machine. Fluorescent whitening agent which gives a glow to the cloths. Oxygen bleach, that is sodium perborate, enables to remove the certain stains from the cloth. Sodium sulfate is added to prevent the caking the detergent powder. Enzymes are added to break down some strains in the biological substance like blood and vegetable juices. Certain chemicals gives out the pleasant smell and also makes a cloth fragrant after they wash with the detergents. Next interesting topic is cleansing action of soap. The soap molecules contains two chemicals which interact differently with each other. One is polar N and which is a short head which has a carboxylate group, that is CO Na, and another one is a non-polar end which have the long tail which have the hydrocarbon chain. So polar and non-polar. Polar is a short end and non-polar is a long end. Polar end is a hydrophilic in nature, ends it attracted towards water. Non-polar end is a hydrophobic in nature and it is attracted towards dirt or oil on the cloth, but it's not attracted towards water. The hydrophobic part of a soap molecule trapped to the dirts under hyaluronic parts which makes entire molecules which is soluble in water. And the cluster micellar, when a soap or a detergent dissolve in water, the molecules join together as a cluster called micellar. The long hydrocarbon chain which attach themselves to the oil or dirt. The dirt is thus surrounded by the non-polar end of the soap molecule. That is, I already showed in this diagram picture, no children. The charged carboxylate end of the soap molecule which makes that micellates. Micellates means cluster soluble in water. The dirt is washed out away with the help of this soap. Advantages of detergents over soap. It is used in both hard and water and more effective in hard water than soap. So which is used in a saline or acidic water. Do not leave any soap sums of the tube or cloths. Dissolves freely even in a cool water, rinse freely in the hot water. Can be used for washing woolen garments, whereas soap cannot be used. Have a liner hydrocarbon chain which is biodegradable and it is active in the mortar grease and do effective and a safe cleansing, keeping even a synthetic fabrics brighter and whiter. Here we will have a two detergents. There are two types. One is biodegradable detergent and non-biodegradable detergents. In this, we will have a straight hydrocarbon chain which can easily degraded by bacteria, and the non-biodegradable detergents which is a highly branched hydrocarbon chain which cannot be degradable by bacteria. So here we will have some of the disadvantages of the detergents too. So disadvantage of the detergents which have branched hydrocarbon, no, that is not fully degradable, isn't it? So microorganisms is always present in this water, so that will cause a water pollution. They are relatively more expensive than the soap. Here we will have this comparison, that is distinguish between the soap as well as detergents. Now I am going to say about the soap, which have the ionic part of the soap is COO minus Na plus. It is prepared from the animal fat or a vegetable oil. Its effectiveness is reduced when used in a hard water. It is a sodium salt of long chain fatty acids. Its effective will be reduced. I already informed you, so that's why it comes in hard water. It has a poor foaming capacity, so soaps are biodegradable. Whereas in detergents, the sodium salt of sulfonic acids, the ionic part in the detergent is SO minus 3 Na plus. It is prepared from the hydrocarbon obtained from crude oil. It is effective even in a hard water. Does not come in hard water because it is effective. Okay, it has a rich foaming capacity. Most of the detergents are non-degradable. And an important notification is TFM in soap. TFM is a total fatty matter. It is one of the important factor to consider the quality of the soap. If a TFM is higher, it's a good for the bathing soap. So children, check your bathing soap at the back side, how much the TFM. If the TFM is more, you should use it. Is very convenient to the bathing purpose. Thank you children.